Library facilities. The library will be your base of operations during the story. Ariana will be supported by Vester, who will craft items, and Divina, who will help her learn magic. Through chatting with staff members from various backgrounds and reading many book collections, you can learn even more about the world. Thank you for your hard work, my lady. Thanks for your work too. I'm grateful that you're always keeping the library clean. Please don't mention it. This is my job after all. Besides, thank you for repairing the Codex of Water. Cleaning has gone a bit easier. Huh? So even something mundane like that is affected by magic blessings? Yes, it's all thanks to you, my lady. Thank you. Please look after your health as you continue repairs. Thanks. Leave it to me. Mysterious pen. Simply writing a codex will not give it any power. The same is true even if you were to perfectly copy each word and character from an existing one. It is said a dedicated writing implement is required to imbue codex with magical power, but the details have not been revealed. Since the library is collecting and organizing these tomes, some of them should have been written outside of the library. One can assume that, at least. But no matter how hard people search, nothing even fragmentarily has been discovered about the writing implements. This fact only elevates the mystique of Codices. Unknown power residing in Codices. Magic is formed out of the elements materialized from stories written within Codices. Various magical elements are included within each story. In just one codex, you can switch between what magic is materialized based on the incantation. Therefore, it is not unusual for one book to handle multiple magic spells. Fundamentally, anyone can use magic as long as they hold a codex. Conversely, you cannot use magic if you do not have one. This is what was previously considered true, but recent research has shown that this may not always be the case. That is merely speculative, almost in the realm of rumors. But if it were to be properly verified with substantial evidence, this would most certainly be a historic discovery. Learn the basics of magic. In order to use magic, a codex, and a spell are required. Spells are essential to materializing magic, and unless cast correctly, the codex will be nothing but an ordinary book. The strength of the materialized magic is also proportional to the strength of the magic power held by its user. As a result, even if the same tome spell is used by different people, the resulting strength may vary. Humans and demons, unintentional coexistence. Since the dawn of history, or rather, even before recorded history, it can be said that humans and demons have always been at war. Of course, this is including brief skirmishes. Widespread large wars have not continued endlessly. It is also said that it was very one-sided and instigated by demons at first, and that nothing grew into a fully fledged war. This changed when humanity became capable of controlling magic. The spell of codices that were refined over generations gradually changed humans. Magic was an overwhelming advantage that only demons possessed previously, and now humans had the strength to oppose them. Currently, both humans and demons are on equal footing, capable of destroying each other. However, neither of them will ever go so far, for they know it would be the path of destruction that would lead to their own downfalls. Repair support, the mysteries of recipes. While most attention is focused on librarians who repair codices, many people don't know about the items that can aid them. Items used during repairs are special tools with magic power and are not commonly available. Because of this, the job of some library staff members is to create these items and distribute them to their peers. They use techniques to process special materials such as repair fragments and magic remnant to support librarians. However, their techniques aren't foolproof. In fact, creating them stably is made possible by recipes, which are the result of vast research accumulated by successive generations of library staff. It is said that unknown recipes are sometimes discovered within the library. This is speculation, but they are likely dispersed to various places for storage and to ensure they aren't misused. Of course, one can't deny the possibility that they are hidden to create some kind of treasure hunt. Library jobs may erode one's nerves so much that they seek out these sorts of fun diversions. No, that can't be right. I'm sure it's because they love and enjoy such a gigantic archive that they end up wanting to sprinkle such fun around the library. About the Codex of Water. The Codex of Water is a codex that governs pure streams. The power bestowed by this codex is birth clean water that enriches nations, provides currents that heal illnesses, and brings peace to people's lives. Its power has become essential within the field of medical treatment, and the source of today's healing magic can be traced back to this volume. The story is about a girl who sacrifices herself for a loved one. Like flowing water, her feelings never ran dry, and they continue to touch people's hearts even now. Water is more than a simple substance. It is a symbol of devotion and healing, a circle of life itself. About the Codex of Wind. The Codex of Wind is a codex that governs the winds crossing the skies. The power bestowed from this codex has beckoned new winds to the earth, bringing with it technology to carry people to faraway lands. Air travel using floating devices was only realized thanks to the blessing from this tome. The origin of various wind magic that aids in movement and acceleration can be traced back to this volume. The story is an adventurous tale about a boy who saves a bird injured by poachers, which then takes to the sky in search of freedom, letting the winds lead them. The pair leads a life free of restrictions. Wind is an element that embraces all, whispering, surging, and sometimes building into a storm. This codex grants the wings to soar to new heights from those who are brave enough to move forward. About the Codex of Earth. The Codex of Earth is a codex that holds the power to protect bountiful Earth and its blessings. The power bestowed from this codex has supported sturdy architecture, brought the blessing of geothermal energy to people, and cultivated appreciation and prayer to Mother Earth. The origin of defense magic, sturdy shields, and protective barriers can be traced back to this volume. The story stage is the Sacred Mountain. There, a demon and a human join forces and fight to protect the mountain from invading enemies, all to worship the might of the god of the earth. Rocks do not speak, and the earth is silent, yet within the silence, there lives the power to accept and support all. This codex grants the power of earth itself to those who hold unwavering wills. About the Codex of Fire. The Codex of Fire is a codex that holds the power of flames and the countless blessings they offer. The power bestowed from this codex has fueled the furnaces of blacksmiths, supported manufacturing, birthed weapons and armor, and brought strength and progress to people's lives. The origin of offensive magic, fireballs, explosives, and destructive technology can be traced back to this volume. The story depicts the end of a great war, brought about by the growing hatred between humans and demons. Two warriors stand tall in the bloody conflict, wishing to end the war. They battle against the demon general, attempting to cast a spell of destruction. Fire raises the land, but it also purifies the earth to foster new life. This codex grants the power to burn brightly to those who stand in the space between destruction and rebirth. The library's origin. The library is a pivotal facility and organization that manages codices from all over the world. It is said to have originated from a facility that suddenly appeared and was used privately by its supervisor, but the details are unknown. The library as an organization. The library's operation can be credited to the library director. Indeed, it has changed dramatically under the management of current director, Mr. Berkeley. Until he stepped in, it was chaos. Many librarians said that the library was no more than a pile of abandoned books and could hardly be called a collection. He carefully examined each codex and sorted each volume. His achievements in organizing are incredible and should be passed down for eternity. Library mysteries you've never heard of. The library, headed by the library director, has immense influence over various codices and magic itself, but some say there is a person who stands above the director. For the author's safety, the source of this information will be kept secret, but there's apparently someone well versed in codices, and as a result of their scholarship, they can see into the future and steer the present into it. As such, I will call them the Prophet here. Let me be clear that the existence of the Prophet has not been confirmed. However, whenever something major happens in world history, the library is involved. It's almost as if critical events were predetermined. A being who can see the future, a prophet. The search for a memorable book. This seems often misunderstood, but the library does not collect books indiscriminately. Even as a worldwide organization, the library's goal is to collect all codices. If you're looking for something to read to children, you should look somewhere else. There are codices that can put you to sleep, but we cannot guarantee that children will enjoy their content. Tell me about this job. Library edition. The library, which handles a vast amount of codices, has staff members with special skills. The best representation of this are the people who can repair the books called librarians. Possessing strong magic and the technique to freely control it, they expend a tremendous amount of effort to preserve codices, sometimes even fully rewriting entire volumes. They give their hearts to the written stories, sentences, words, characters, sometimes even the bindings and the paper itself. They approach their work with utmost sincerity, and while they are not the only ones who love codices, they are the ones loved by the books themselves. How to walk in the library. The library is truly mysterious. As long as they continue collecting codices from all over the world, they would eventually run out of space. Or so you would think. However, every time I visit, it's well organized. Realistically, they must have a storage room somewhere. It's constantly and infinitely expanding its interior. There's a separate section, an annex hidden from the public. The library itself is the Codex that endlessly absorbs all books. It's no wonder such rumors keep springing up. Forbidden Codices. Among the codices collected within the library, there exist some which are clearly special among them. They are called the Hero Codices, and their names have taken on a life of their own as forbidden tomes with extraordinary magical power hidden within. They're managed within a special section deep within the library, so their existence hasn't been confirmed. Some say that even librarians are unable to handle them, much less regular staff members. If you know your history, you can understand your present, and knowing your present lets you see the future. By doing that, I'm sure you'll discover where your parents have gone. So don't give up, Ariana. I can't help with the repairs, but I promise one thing. I'll definitely find the Codex of Finding the Lost. I appreciate it. But does the Codex really exist? If it did, I'm sure Divina would have used it. Ariana, this library collection goes well over 1 million books. Even someone like Lady Divina can't keep track of all of them. That's why you need to hold on to the belief that it does exist. Don't give up hope. Right, I understand. Humans and demons. To begin with, it takes a certain arrogance to say humans currently control this world. While they have expanded into each region by relying on their greater population size, it isn't difficult to imagine demons controlling this world if there was no numerical superiority. Humans and demons. There's no doubt that these two species are at the heart of this world, but they are by no means balanced. This author is also human and has never explored the entire world. I would like to conclude this manuscript by adding that we have not fully grasped everything in this world, including its many unexplored lands. Demons attack humans. To describe the history of humans and demons in a single word, I would choose conflict. Though its beginnings are unclear, the conflict between demons and humans has persisted since ancient time, as exemplified by the many books written about the two great wars. However, it is also true that some people search for a means to coexist, and it can be said the coexistence of a moderate faction is one of the main reasons that both species have survived to this day. Demon hunters. Demons are detestable beings who attack us without reason. That was a common understanding among humanity. However, in the shadows, there were humans who attacked demons and called themselves demon hunters. In the end, we would refrain from making generalizations just because one is a human or demon. Era of Darkness. The Two World Wars. The scars of the previous war have etched themselves across the world and in our memories, and we must not avert our gazes from them. Between the two world wars, between humans and demons, the most recent war faced tens of thousands of casualties as a result of magic. Currently, one could say the world is at peace. However, we must not forget that this peace was built on the backs of countless sacrifices. Demon longevity. When looking at demons as a species, their long lifespans cannot be ignored. They far exceed those of humans. There are some who live for over 1,000 years. This lifespan is unfathomable for humans, as we don't even manage to live for longer than 100 years. What is it like to live over 10 times longer than us? Or even more? Thank you for your hard work, my lady. You too, Vester. By the way, I'd like to exchange the repair fragments and magical remnants I picked up inside the codices for items. Understood. Items possess various effects. I hope that will be of some help to your work, my lady.
Yes.
Item crafting shop screen. You can use materials you obtain within the stories to craft items. You can craft equipable magic items that can help repair the hero codices, and by obtaining recipes, you'll be able to craft more items.
Thank you.
Good work repairing the Codex of Water. By the way, the place is called the main hall. Yes, I know. By the way, the place ahead is called the lobby. Who would have guessed? Lady Divina is usually here. I'm guessing you have some business with her. Yeah, I guess I'll drop by. I see. I'm sure Lady Divina will be happy. Oh, Divina. Ah, you seem energetic. Did you perhaps like my gift yesterday? Yeah, you gave me bread with yesterday's dinner, right? Vester told me. Did it satisfy your hunger? Of course. Having soup every day gets tiring, but I'm surprised you were able to get the ingredients for bread, or even just wheat, during these times of scarcity. I didn't. Huh? I made that bread using the Codex of Bread, so it's comprised of my magic alone. Magic bread? That's right. Was it delicious? Well, it was really tasty. I hate to admit it, but it was really good. I'm happy to hear you say so. You used me as a guinea pig again? Guinea pig? Absolutely not. I tested it as necessary. But I didn't have the confidence in its taste, and I wanted the opinion of others. Grr. And I simply couldn't stand to see you suffering from hunger. I thought it might affect your work. Ugh. Well, thank you for your generous blessing, Lady Divina. No need to thank me. Then, don't trouble yourself so much next time. There's no need to be shy about this. Perhaps I'll try making sweets next time. I've told you I don't like magic food. I don't mind if you make it, but eat it yourself. How cold? Hall of the Seven Heroes. A forbidden archive that only a limited number of people can enter. This is where the 7 hero codices are stored. From here, Ariana can advance through each codex's story stage. Good work repairing the Codex of Water. Please keep it up with the other codices. Yes. If your work goes smoothly, the work of the librarians who have been dispatched to various nations will progress. I don't mean to rush you, but I'm hoping for the 4 elemental codices to be repaired as soon as possible. Chief, could you tell me why we've dispatched librarians to other nations? The library director hasn't told you? Well, officially it's to search for the culprit behind this terrorist attack, but in reality, it's to process grievances. Grievances? The reason magic is unusable is due to a management issue. So nominally, we're taking in grievances in order to take responsibility. Well, really, they're just submitting complaints. Complaints, huh? Well, I understand where they're coming from. It's understandable, but we don't have the time to listen to every single one. Even if we could, the only thing we can do is apologize. I acted ahead of time in order to avoid wasting time. Ah, so you're making sure the grievances don't pile up. Exactly. Well, the library may be understaffed, but the library director is handling it with barrier magic. Just like you, he can use magic without the magic power of the 7 hero codices. Despite that, I just had to rely on your hard work to subdue all the chaos. Please keep it up. Yes.
What?
Automatons. Automatons, or mechanical dolls, carry out the work given to them faithfully. It is said that they were created out of the desire for convenience. There are few functioning automatons that currently exist, because it is mostly lost technology. New ones will likely never be created, though current technology allows for maintenance and repair. It is impossible to revive one that has been powered down. A new theory has emerged in recent years, claiming that demons invented automaton technology, and it suggests that is why humans are unable to construct them. If that's true, are new automatons being created somewhere in the world and functioning right now. Death of automatons. Immortality is an impossible wish for humans and demons. No, for all living beings. As long as one is a living being, they cannot escape death. However, some say this wish has been fulfilled by mechanical dolls. There's a debate as to whether mechanical dolls should be treated the same as living beings, or whether ceasing to function and death are even synonymous. But if they are viewed as automatous beings, this idea cannot be dismissed. They do require repair on faulty parts, but this can be thought of as treating an injury, as there are automatons who can work semi-permanently with proper management. Even if they can't be called immortal, it wouldn't be wrong to say that they are close to it. However, this train of thought leads to the conclusion that automatons are living beings. If you reject this idea, then mechanical dolls are nothing more than machines, and thus cannot be called immortal. Components of automatons. An automaton is composed of the following elements. Magic core, the heart of a mechanical doll. It stores magical power and enables it to move. By using a high purity magic crystal, the individual can stably operate for long periods of time. The operational time is proportional to the strength and density of the magic power held within the magic core. Theoretically, it's possible to produce an individual that can operate semi-permanently. Magic circuits, links. They control the flow of magic power and distribute it appropriately to each body part. Different circuits exist for each element, with fire element being combat focused and wind element being high speed movement focused. Control ring, commands, magic rings that determine an automaton's guidelines. It is possible to rewrite commands, but etching in an incorrect circle poses the risk of sending the doll out of control. Automaton operation rules. There are strict rules established for operating the automaton. There are minor differences depending on nation or organization, but the following points are commonly shared. Rampage prevention limiter. If the magic's core output limiter no longer functions, it can cause damage not just to the surrounding, but to itself. To prevent this, regular adjustment to output are necessary. But as a final safety measure to handle unexpected situations, it is designed to instantly suspend operations if a magic core exceeds its set output limit. Ban on adding personalities, personas. It is prohibited to give mechanical dolls a personality or will of its own. This is to avoid the danger of them deviating from its owner's intention. But in reality, some automatons possess personalities. Typically, they are an older mechanical doll, created before operational regulations were established. However, it isn't unusual for individuals who have operated for long periods of time to have pseudo-personalities through the accumulation of self-learning in response to their environment. Sealing. Mechanical dolls who have become non-functional have their magic core recovered and properly sealed away. Even some time after recovering the magic core, there's a possibility that residual magic could cause it to go out of control. Automatons confirmed to have lost all magical powers are readjusted and made operational again with a new magic core. Hey there, Ariana. You repaired the Codex of Water, right? Looks like you're doing your job. Well, of course. It's my job after all. By the way, what work are you doing, Senior? Hey, you. Did something happen in the Codex? Huh? Forgetting what I do for work isn't just a simple lapse of memory. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't phrase that very well. I'll say this to clear up any misunderstandings. You're my senior, and your job is being a librarian. Your title is chief. That's right. Looks like your head is fine. That's good, Ariana. Well, yes. Anyways, do you need something from me? No, not in particular. Then, why'd you come talk to me? You must have some business. It's more like you were around, so I decided to talk to you. I see. So, subconsciously, you wanted me to listen to your thoughts. Then sit down there. Why? If you don't sit, your thoughts won't accumulate in your head properly. But even then, I see you almost every day, so I don't really have a bunch of pent-up thoughts. What? Well, to snow the conversation thought quickly. I thought you at least had 50 centimeters worth of thoughts piled up. Well, you're my senior, so guess that's true. But sit down anyways. More thoughts will pile up than you realize. Then you go ahead first. I can't do that. In this world, there's lots of issues with your senior forcing a junior to do something. It's a lot to deal with. You're contradicting yourself. You know, now that I think about it, the library director's particularly committed a crime by forcing you to do such dangerous work. Hey senior, I'm surprised you're bold enough to say something like that in the library. Have some courage, Ariana. Just because you have some special magic doesn't mean they can make you do whatever they want. Setting boundaries and telling people what you can't do is the right way to live, isn't it? So you should stand up for yourself, whether it's the library director or a singer. That might be true, but it's not like I'm being ordered to do something I'm incapable of doing. But it's dangerous enough that you're losing your memories. I told you, I didn't lose my memories. You may begin to, though. You never know. There's even a chance you might die. I can't deny that, but then have the courage to say it. I don't want to do this job. I can't say that. Why not? I'm not doing my job because the library director is making me do it, but he's telling you to do it, right? That's true, but I don't dislike this work. I'm doing it out of my own volition. I want to finish this. I see. That's such an admirable answer. Then I'm starting to feel like the bad guy here. Even when I'm just a senior who's worried about his juniors. I know. I appreciate that. By the way, I've wondered for a while now, but why do you talk to me like that? Huh? You talk to me differently than with the others. Why's that? Because you're my senior. That sounds like an answer when it's really not. I think it's a complex relationship. We're not close enough to be relatives, but we're not distant enough to be strangers. Oh, so it's like being more than friends, but not quite lovers. That's completely different. How is it different? Well, we're not dating. Isn't the relationship between a junior and a senior considered a relationship? If you say that, then all seniors and all juniors of the world would become couples. I don't think so. There's no love or affection involved after all. Did you know affection and love are prerequisites to being more than friends, but not quite lovers? You should have said that first. Ordinary staff member diary. Nobody believes me, but I'm sure that I saw it. I saw a librarian get sucked into a battered old codex. But I came back the next day. The book was beautifully repaired, as if it were brand new. I swear it's true. Civil life and magic. As a result of the library's stable management system for codices, magic spread widely across the working class, not just limited to the few in power. Bakers light their ovens, etched with fire magic, and chimney sweepers, now agile with wind magic, leap across rooftops. Small stalls line city corners, selling magic vermin repellent charms, or medicines that seal water magic. Magic users and engineers also cooperate within factories to pour magic power into devices, increasing productivity. However, as the phrase, two sides of the same coin, suggests, there are downsides to magic. Magic power isn't endless, and at day's end, people sip their glasses quietly to soothe hoarse throats, tired from incantations. Is this author the only one who feels nostalgic for the days when the bustle of the shopping district was much more prominent after sunset? The future carved by ones without magic. Magic has spread to everyday lives and has enriched people's livelihoods. At the same time, there is a serious disparity between those who have magic power and those who do not. Some refuse to accept their have-not fates and forge a different path. They place their hopes on water, fire, coal, and steel. At first, they went through constant trial and error. Hot water boiled over, steel vessels cracked, and sometimes workshops were scorched. But they didn't give up. They looked closely at invisible forces created by heat and pressure, searching for scientific system. Artisans threw coal into furnaces, scholars poured their wisdom into blueprints, and blacksmiths crafted various complex parts. And finally, they succeeded. The regular pulse, spread by spinning wheels, would spread through cities, and they cheered at this non-magical technological innovation. Steam engines. Later given that name, this technology became proof that anyone can seize the future. The mysterious pair. Deep in a quiet forest lay a small cabin, which an old man made his home. The old man lived alone for a long time, but one night he saw a mysterious light. The identity of the light was a boy who had collapsed in front of his door. The man knew what he was immediately. A boy who emits magical light could only be a demon. The old man spoke to this lost boy. You should rest here for a time. This was the beginning of the mysterious relationship between the pair. The old man and the boy spent a long time together. One day, the old man said to the boy, "You don't age, do you?" No matter how many years pass, the boy looked the same as the day they met. "I do age. I just grow at a different pace than humans." The old man nodded in understanding with a soft smile. Eventually, the old man's health began to decline. The boy tried to cast magic on the old man many times, but he didn't accept any of it. Life goes in cycle. I wish to sleep now, grateful for the time I spent with you. The old man gently stroked the boy's head, then quietly passed away. It was a strange relationship, in which they spent time together, without ever knowing one another's name. It was enough to be present together, as if it were simply natural. Perhaps someone like that is in your life too. What would you, a human, do? What would you, a demon, do? You're amazing, Miss Ari. You already finished repairing one of the codices, right? The 7 hero codices are marvelous forbidden codices that a regular apprentice like me can't even look at. You're so incredible for repairing such a mega awesome codex, Miss Ari. The insides of the 7 hero codices are supposed to be hyper dangerous, right? What are they actually like inside? Are they like apocalyptic death roads? I'll tell you about it another time. Seriously? I'll bring popcorn and listen quietly. Thank you for your hard work, my lady. You as well. But you can drop the formalities. You're a librarian like me, after all. I couldn't possibly do such a thing. There's no librarian who has greater abilities than you, my lady. That's not true. Why, yes it is. You're the only person who can save this world. So please take care of yourself. Right. Thank you. Hey, Ariana. Hi there, Mai. Whoa. Did you get summoned by the library director? Huh? Why do you think that? Well, his office is right over there. No, he didn't ask me to come. I just happened to be wandering over here. I see. But hey, you! You're showing off what you can do already. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the repairs, of course. And you're taking care of the hero codices, right? In the Forbidden Archive. Those aren't exactly easy to repair. Well, yeah, it wasn't simple. It was pretty tough. Exactly, I bet it was. It was enough for you, my childhood friend, to be bedridden for 2 days. I wasn't bedridden. I just couldn't really recover my stamina. You ended up like that after restoring the Codex of Water, right? If it were me, I would have died. I doubt that. It's true. You're not a regular librarian or even a regular magician. That's why I'm going to call you Magical Librarian Ariana from now on. You're the only one who's going to say that, Mai. Well, not a magic librarian. That's the difference between us. I'm not jealous though. I'm friends with an amazing magician, and we even grew up together. I'm so happy and proud. I get to boast about you as my friend. That goes for me too. So the work on your plate. I'm sure it's hard, but I want you to keep doing your best. I'll be cheering you on. I'm absolutely certain that an amazing magician like you can fix everything. I don't know if I can call myself an amazing magician right now, but I'll do my best to become one. Yeah, I believe in you, Ariana. When that happens, I'm sure you'll find your mom and dad. You're right. Thanks, Mai. Spacetime Treatise. Introduction. On the deep structure of time and the creation of spacetime crystals. Foundational magic theory in regards to reconstruction of spacetime fields. Introduction. The phenomena we call time is not a single current, but potentially a bundle of root magic weaved together with multiple layers intersecting with one another. This hypothesis is based on new gravitational theory, which states that space is not a fixed container, but is formed by the organizational state of time. This paper discusses the relationship between the structures of root magic fields and spacetime crystals, which form during critical states.